And we are live in 3, 2, 1.
We're back.
So, yeah.
Podcast heaven. That's where we are. We were in the world, and podcast heaven's where we are at right now.
So I got it from here, from a knee upwards.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. Should we do something about the footage? It's getting our cut lunch down here. I feel like if I lean back, my testes is just going to go that away, you know? Like,
good start on the clean podcast. You straight away, you said testes.
Balls. My balls.
I don't know if that's better. But we are back. And we've rebranded a little bit because... You know, when I did a little Google search on hypothetically speaking, about 50,000 different podcasts came up. I was like, so we're the 50,000 and first to have this name. So it was a bit confusing. So we rebranded it to what, Richard?
Two guys and a fake fire. You know, I had a few comedians come up and tease me about it being the same name as other podcasts.
Well, who were they?
David, you know.
Darewit?
Yeah.
David?
Yeah.
I love David.
Yeah, he teased me a bit when we were at the club, the comedy club.
Up in the club. Hello, Gorgeous. Shout out to Hello, Gorgeous and all the wonderful comedians that do that.
Yeah. But it was a good chat.
Shout out to Good Chat.
Yeah.
Jake Smith and the boys.
Yeah.
All the lads. Yeah. They're good. They're awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the podcast, Richie T and Jay Wong podcast, without mentioning and having a shout out to our good sponsors, Monster Energy Drink.
Yeah, and Mother.
No, not Mother, just Monster.
Mother. What's the brand? What do they say? Mother. It gives.
Have a suck on your mother.
Your mother's.
Oh, dude.
That's a bad choice for it. Why would they call it Mother?
Have a slurp of your mother.
Suck on the mother. Oh.
The mother's milk. Drink it.
The mother's nectar.
The mother's nectar. Whoa. Sounds grosser than mother's milk.
Mother Nature.
Mother Nature. Drink from Mother's... No, but they're not even our sponsor. Our real sponsors are the good guys at Monster Energy Drink. Today we're Ultra Fiesta. Mango flavour.
Mango.
Let's have a little sip of this.
Do you think they get actual mango and put it in the Monster?
No, I think it's mango extract. But again, this is not a science podcast.
Yeah.
Let's see, you came dressed up for the podcast. Like...
Yeah, ready.
Stop covering your crotch, man. It's happening.
I feel like that's where everyone's energy is going.
Everyone's like, look at the testes.
I don't know if this is a good time to tell everyone I'm not wearing undies.
It's not a good time. But you know what? I'm actually, on that note, I'm quite peckish. So I'm going to crack open some peckish fancies a little bit later.
That won't be loud at all.
It will probably be pretty loud, won't it? I'm so hungry. But maybe I'll have them later. Damn it, I'm just so hungry.
And slap it. Whenever we have a sip of these things, it just sounds so loud.
Well, if anyone knows Richie T, you know that he drinks his drinks in the weirdest way possible. Like, if you can have a look in there, like, if the cameraman can zoom in, that's me, so I won't be able to do that. Or maybe I'll just get up. Look at that. Look at that. See that? That's his half-open drink, and he sucks it from the slit of the mother.
Yeah. We call it the sweet slit.
The sweet slit of your mother. That's terrible.
Yeah. And
I hope your mother's not watching this.
Been doing that since
ashamed.
Shout out to mums everywhere.
Shout out to my mum.
I've been doing that since I was maybe 10, 11 years old. We used to all do it. We used to go around, walk around all of the Sunshine Coast with all our buddies with no shoes, catching blue-tongued lizards, bearded dragons, and we all drunk like that. And everyone stopped doing it. Yeah, because, we grew up. And then I just the only one that kept it. I discovered that it tastes better, makes the drink last longer. And also, now that I'm a dad, my kids always grab my drinks and spill it, and it saved me many times.
A few good points there. This is very
Although people tend to be embarrassed by me at parties. No one wants to talk to me. There's not always upside to everything.
No.
People think I'm, there's a bit of cheese missing from the cracker, let's say.
That's right. It's like a kid walking around with pants made out of curtains.
Yeah. You had pants made out of curtains when
Yeah,
you were born,
it was terrible. I got teased relentlessly.
If I remember correctly, your mum used to buy you a lot of clothes from the op shop, your undies. You often got undies from the op shop.
There's something happens to a child when they wear underwear from the op shop. They know it's secondhand. Someone else's nuts have been in there. That's the third mention of testicles, by the way, in this podcast. Like, we're doing really bad if we're trying to clean this up. But something happens to a kid.
Yeah, because you have to block out all the horrors, like like the imagery of other men's genitalia, and you also pretend the skid marks is just colouring.
Yeah, sometimes I have a pair of red undies, and hopefully they weren't from the op shop, but I used to put them over my head, and like the legs would be my eyes, and I'd pretend to be Spider-Man. Like, imagine if those ones were out from the op shop. I'd be like, what's that?
Some guy walks past and goes, "Hey, that's my undies."
It's like, oh, damn it. Your face is where my nuts are. Like, oh, good. But I'm Spider-Man, the amazing Spider-Man.
Wearing undies from the op shop.
It gives wall crawler a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
More like ball crawler.
Maybe that's how Spider-Man really got his powers. It wasn't from a spider bite. It was from sniffing another man's undies.
Radioactive testicles.
Radioactive testes.
Good times were had by all. Except for me in my childhood, wearing secondhand underwear on my head, pretending to be Spider-Man because I didn't have any toys.
That would have been a different kiss for Mary Jane when he was hanging upside down and she pulls down the undies. Guess what? Your breath stinks like fart. Maturity levels. Yeah.
I think it's a good time to tell that story. I mean, we'll get into the hypothetical situation in a second. But there was a story, well, not a story, a true story, of when I went on that date with that girl. I won't mention any names here. But went out on a date, and I was driving the car. It was an old Kingswood, and the the air conditioning was basically. Do you know how you just the air conditioning was like a window through the front, the grill. And all it was doing was you're opening it up so the front grill would blow hot air in your face.
Yeah.
That's what air conditioning we had in that old Kingswood. But at the end of the night, I dropped her off. Wanted to go for the kiss. Didn't do it. I chickened out. And I was like, well, at least I'll be able to rip this massive fart that I had that was like grumbling in my stomach all night.
The classic date fart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever had the situation where you're like, you need a fart and you hold it in too much, and what does it do, Rich?
It comes out in different ways.
It starts like grumbling, going, you're like, and then you go, oh, I'm so hungry. You start making excuses like, just I wish I had more to eat, sort of thing. Anyway, so I let out this massive ripper of a fart, and it smelt quite bad. And she had gone to her door, but then suddenly thought, I'll just go back, for whatever the reason. So she started coming back down the car, and I started trying to siphon the fart smell in through my nose, through my lungs, and try and turn it into carbon dioxide.
That's science.
Well, I'm no scientist.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I was trying to filter my fart through my own lungs and blow it out into the air conditioning vent. And then she knocked on the window, and I was like, here's the moment of truth, wind it down. And, she leant in, and she's like, I forgot something, going in for the kiss. And thankfully, the car didn't smell like fart. But when I leant up to kiss her, my breath did. And she was like, oh, you need a mint. So I ruined that evening through the old fart filter. And that's how the legendary fart filter story began.
And really, you're the victim, because really she should have thanked you. She should have come back and thanked you and said, thank you for the sacrifice you've made.
Holding in my farts?
Holding in your fart all evening just for me. And then sniffing it in.
I took one for the team, didn't I?
You jumped on the open grenade.
You know what? Like, you go on a date.
But you know what? You'll be judged as the bad guy.
I was the bad guy. You go on a date, like Paul Mamone one day, won't he?
Yeah.
Shout out to Paul.
Yeah.
Like, when you go on a date, I haven't been on a date in a while, but
I don't know why we keep shouting out.
I don't know. It's just he loves it. But you go on a date. Beforehand, you got no farts in the bank.
Yeah.
What happens when you go and pick up the girl?
Yeah.
What happens, Rich?
You got 100.
You got 100.
It's the Carl Barron doctrine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You got 100 stored up, ready to go.
Yeah.
That's it. So today's podcast is brought to you by Cold Tablets.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about farts so far. Farts and testicles and dirty undies.
So we'll try and turn a new leaf to make this a cleaner podcast.
Yeah, for our sponsors.
Yeah, because the good people at Monster Energy Drink said, hey, let's clean it up a bit. And we reciprocated by talking about testicles, underwear, and farts.
Yeah.
Flatulence. I should say flatulence.
Yeah. Should we have a disclaimer that we're not sponsored by Monster? I feel like someone will sue us.
How are they going to sue us? They're getting free sponsorship.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or, I don't know. Well, why like, if someone from Monster Energy Drink or anyone with any knowledge in the sponsorship world, let us know in the comments. I don't know what I'm doing.
If one of our 500,000 followers could write something to us, that'd be pretty good.
Well, before we go into the hypothetical situation, Rich, is any current news that you want to discuss?
Let's think. I don't think so. I was thinking what's going to happen, and nothing came to mind.
So prepared are we with the current news and going-ons in the world. So let's take this opportunity to go into the hypothetical situation. You ready, Rich? It's my turn to offer you a scenario which you need to respond to.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been talking about superpowers, haven't we?
Yeah, we do like superpowers.
Yeah. And early on in the podcast, I talked about how I used to pretend to be Spider-Man, like with the red undies on my head. Hopefully not from the op shop.
Yeah. Hopefully
they were newbies. They might have been hand-me-downs from so, but that's just as bad. But
your dad's undies when before he threw them away. Yeah.
So this hypothetical situation comes from an ability that you are bestowed upon by, let's just say, you're drinking your mother, have a little bit of rub on the can, a little bit of a suck, and then poof, a big genie comes out.
Sounds good. That'd be pretty good, actually. I'd be excited. Yeah.
But he doesn't give you any wishes. He just gives you a power, right? He just goes, I'm going to give you a power.
Yeah.
I'll give you the power of invisibility. You can go invisible as much as you want, but for every hour you are invisible, you lose a day off the back end of your life.
That's interesting. That's an interesting dilemma. Can I flip between invisibility and visibility?
Yeah. So, but like, you don't get a choice. You just go, that's your powers. You go, oh. And he's like, oh, and, you just say the word, like, genie. And then you say genie and you're invisible. And then you're like, oh, that's one.
It's an hour.
That was it.
Every hour I use, I lose an hour?
No, it's sort of like a plumber or a tradie. You call them out and they do a 15-minute job, they'll still charge you for the full hour. So shout out to all the tradies.
And often they'll charge you for 7 hours.
So I just saw you in there for 15 minutes. 7 hours work that was.
Yeah.
But so straight away you've lost a day off your life.
Okay. A day? I thought it was an hour.
No, for every hour you use, you lose a day.
Oh, that's much worse.
Yeah, it's with great power comes great cost. And so he's all like that. Okay, use it wisely. and genie out.
Yeah.
So, you got this power. Firstly, what's the first thing you do?
Well, it's an expensive way to pay for porn, isn't it? It's a very expensive porn site. You're losing a whole day of your life.
Well, hang on. Why are you going straight to porn?
Well, I'm just saying, a lot of people would do that. Not me.
So hypothetically, you find yourself in the bathhouses in Japan. We've been there before many times.
Yeah.
For many jobs. And then, are you tempted to use it at the Japanese bathhouses?
Well, if I had invisibility, my number one go-to would just be going around messing with people, to be honest. But it's an expensive prank.
Well, what would you do? What was the first thing you do?
I'd just go up to people and, tickle them and stuff. And they go, what? And then I'll go around their ear and go, hey, it's me. And they go, what? I'll go, it's me.
Well, you're not ethereal. You're still there. You're just invisible.
Yeah, but then
it's me. And they go.
I just go up to people, and then every now and again, I'd, just do weird stuff. Mainly to men. Because if you go to women, it's a bit creepy.
Yeah.
But men,
so you're not gonna go invisible and go up to a woman and go, hey.
I might. I think men it's less likely it's going to turn into a creepy movie. I just think you're going to draw a line. No women.
Okay.
Because things could happen by accident, and then you feel guilty and ruin the whole thing.
Well, what's the first thing you do? Just give me a scenario.
I just go up to blokes and just be like little things like a bloke was peeing.
Where are you going?
You just go in the toilet.
So you go in the public toilet. First thing you go in the public toilet.
Yeah.
Where? Which public toilet?
I just go anyone, and
I say we're at the Gold Coast Casino.
I'll just go, excuse me, honey, I just got to duck out for a minute. And she'll go, where are you going? Don't worry about it. And I'll just go around the corner.
And she'll know you're not going.
I'll be back. I said I'll be back in exactly 1 hour.
No moment she goes, no, you're not going. Would you use an invisibility to get out?
I'll just say, if my wife said you're not going, I'd say, look, it's an emergency.
What are you doing?
I said, I can't tell you, it's a secret.
Oh, you're being unfaithful.
And I say, it's not that.
So you show her your powers?
No, because she'd probably tell me not to do stuff.
Yeah, and she'd probably
get in the way.
She'd be like, can you just go invisible and go duck out and get some bread and milk for the kids?
Yeah. And what was like, we've talked about this before,
chatting.
She'd tell her friends, and then everyone outs me. Nah, you got to keep it a secret. And so I just sneak away and then go on the toilet, and then I see, if there's a bloke just doing a wee.
Yeah.
Just go up and nudge him into the trough.
Okay, so you're messing around. You're going around doing all this practical jokes on people. And one day you nudge the wrong person. And he turns and goes, grabs you. I got someone. And then a whole bunch of guys grab you. And then you're stuck in the toilet, pinned on the floor. And they're punching you. And then suddenly the genie comes back. And goes, genie in. Right, and genie's like, okay, you're in a bit of trouble here. So for your second gift, I'll allow you to do the same power, but instead of going invisible, you can also pause time.
Oh, I think that's a very good power.
But you lose a week.
Oh, there's all these rules.
There's a cost to the power.
Hang on, so you're
a week of your life. On the back end, you're going to be old and decrepit anyway. You want to lose those years in the back end anyway.
Yeah, but not if... I don't know if that's a week is a long time.
Well, how many times have you used it? How many hours have you used your?
Well, how long do I get for pausing time? It's just if I use pause time, is it just pausing time?
You can pause time for up to a day.
And it costs me a week.
A whole week.
I'd have to be very strategic. I'd only use it if I was. If it was a life and death situation.
Well, you're pinned right now in the toilets.
Or if I wanted to steal some money.
Okay. So, you're pinned right now. Genie's like, okay, you just go say genie twice, and then you pause time, and he's like, genie out. And so now you pause, and there's 3 guys paused in time that pinned you in the toilets. Yeah. What do you do to those guys?
I'll probably take them outside in a public space.
So wait, hang on. So these 3 guys, you get up. You go, all right. First thing, I'll take them outside.
Yeah.
Yep.
and take their clothes off.
All their clothes?
All their clothes off.
Yep.
And put them in vulnerable positions against one another.
So, like, one grabbing the other guy's balls.
Yeah, like one's face and the other guy's butthole.
You grab one guy's undies and put it on the other guy's head. Spider-Man.
They're like playing Twister, but a very erotic version of it.
Okay.
And I would have... I would put around them, you know, people that are probably going to be appalled. So I put a few nuns in there.
So you're gonna go. Where's a nun in Brisbane?
I'll Google it. I'll go get a nun. You got to put a few nuns in there because that creates a bit of extra shame. And then
how do you know that?
Why would a nun give you shame?
No, have you ever been embarrassed in front of a nun?
Well, it's just the contrast. You know what I mean? You want the naked twister and a nun. You know, it just makes perfect sense. Maybe like a I don't know, like a diplomat or something, like a real stuck up, like conservative, hardcore, wearing suit tie guy. You know what I mean?
Yep. So you get this. You
maybe a news crew.
Oh, and you set them up.
Set them up there. Like maybe I'll figure out where they're filming, and all of a sudden they'll be there filming them.
So this whole day you're going to orchestrate this just to get back at these.
Mate, they've cost me a week of my life. They're going to pay. That's so weird.
And then a week, then Ginny, everything goes back to normal, and you're sitting there, and they're like, they wake up. One guy's like, oh. And they're like, roll the camera, and it's like live.
And then afterwards, I'll go up to them and I'll say, because they wouldn't know it was me, and I just go up to them and go, "That's disgusting." Like really indignant.
Yeah. How dare you do that?
That's disgusting.
I would never do that.
How could you? This is a public place. There's a nun here, and how could you do this in front of a nun?
And the nun would be like, "Well, how did I get here?"
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, nun. Just make these people feel shame.
Yeah.
Because you're a nun. All right, so what else? I mean, you just used a week of your life. I mean, let's just say you've used your visibility power for 2 weeks of life. Now you've lost another week. You're 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
Off the back end of your life. How, like, just say... I mean, that's not too bad. You haven't even lost a year yet.
No, I've achieved quite a lot. I pushed a bloke in the toilet. Fought a couple of guys in the toilet.
You've gone and perved on some girls.
I haven't.
Well, hang on, you said that.
I said I wouldn't perv on girls.
Oh, okay, I thought you said.
See, that's the thing with invisibility. It's the creeper's power.
It's a creeper's power.
You can't, anyone that says they want to be the invisible guy, it's like, what are you going to do with that?
So is he going around?
It's either pranks or creeper. That's all you got with invisibility.
What power do you want, Jimmy? Oh, I want to be invisible. Why? Oh, no reason.
Yeah.
Creeper.
If anyone says to you, if you ask them what power do you want, and they say, I want to be invisible, straight away call the police. You know.
They're probably watching you right now.
Yeah, if there is someone who's got invisibility, they will be watching.
Peeping Tom.
Yeah.
All right, so you've done that. Mm-hmm. So you've got the ability to pause time now. You mentioned something about getting rich. Is that something you would do?
Yeah, I think, pausing time, if you have a whole day, you can only pause time, right? You can't go back in time.
No, there's no going back.
See, going back in time is far better because you can ask questions, and if it goes bad or you try something and you fail, you just go back and fix it. That's good for making money. But
pausing time, how would you make money in pausing time? You mentioned it before.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing you could do is steal, really.
So first you're peeping Tom, now you're stealing.
Or you could cheat. You could do cheating. That's not quite as bad as stealing, is it?
How would you do that?
Just do a 100-meter race.
What?
I just race Usain Bolt or something.
You go, I'll bet you $1 million I'll beat you.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, you don't look into that fit of a shape.
Yeah, and...
shout out to all the dads with, dad bods.
Yeah, I went to the gym today.
All right, yeah, so you meaning that you have a good chance of beating Usain Bolt in your current state?
I think so. I think it's some good odds. You get good odds.
So you go, all right, we're having a race. I'll bet you I win.
Yeah, I say, look, let's have a race in front of the world. And I'll put I'll put 20 million on the line. And he's like, oh,
no, hang on. Firstly, Usain Bolt's, but he's not going to take your call. He's like, ring, 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 ring. Who is it? It's Rich. Oh, I don't want to speak to you because I'm Usain Bolt.
I wouldn't call him, you know.
What would you do?
I'd text him.
It's like you get a text. Hey, I'm Rich. I'll bet you 20 million I'll beat you in a race.
Yeah, I just say,
If
you
like,
and me.
Get out.
I say down at the Mooloolaba primary school sprint track. And I'd say, let's go. You bring your friends, I'll bring mine. And
Yeah,
20
you were
million
like, all right,
bucks.
show me 20 million.
I'd say, don't worry about looking at it. I've got it.
No, wait, deal's off.
And,
All right, you don't make any money there. You just wasted a week of your life.
No, and then I race him and I say, ready, set, go. And I even let him run. I let him go in front. Like, just...
Yeah, let him. He's going to physically beat you in a race.
And he'll think, oh, I'm fast. Yeah, I'm winning this. And he'll get to like 60, 70 meters.
Yep.
And then I'll just pause time. And then I'll go watch a movie. And get some popcorn and a drink. And then... just before the time runs out, I'll go to the end of the race and
punch him a few times.
pull his pants down. and then he'll come to, and I'll be at the end, and
he'll fall down, and you're like, he's like beaten to a pulp by your fruit punches. He's like, oh, my head's killing me.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what happened? But then everyone who was watching will be like, that guy cheated. He was there, and then he was there.
I was just so fast. You know, you just didn't notice. I'll probably say no cameras before. Just
Too late. They filmed you.
I'll say no cameras for tonight.
They filmed you, and then you're caught on camera, and now the government's after you.
And I'm rich.
You're not rich. The deal's off. No one's paying you.
World's fastest man. That's what I'd be.
Okay, they got you on film. You're trapped. The government's after you, and then all of a sudden the genie comes back. And he's like, comes in. He's like, all right, for your third power,
Yeah.
I'll let you go back a week in time, but it'll cost you a year of your life.
Oh, that's...
So you're on the run because you got filmed, like, basically teleporting from the 100-meter start to the end on film, but you can go back a week's time, and it costs you a year of your life, but you're out, you're free from that exposure.
A week behind.
Would you do it?
Would I go back and just pretend all this didn't happen?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm just in a net loss. I've just lost a year and a month of my life with no upgain. At least now I've got the $20 million.
No one gave you 20 million. Why would they give you 20 million? You didn't even have 20 million to bet.
Yeah, but I beat him.
You did it. And you cheated, so they know you cheated. They caught you on film, so they go, no, we're not giving you 20. And by the way, we're going to give this to the police. And
I don't understand why it's okay for him to be faster than me, and it's not alright for me to use my powers. Like, we've all got advantages, and I just using mine.
Well, are you going to go back a week or not?
First, I'd find out all the races, and then I'd go back, and then I'd win the lotto.
Well, hey, how does finding out all the races help you win the lotto?
I'll look at the dog races.
Yeah, but the lotto is not the races.
I'll probably look up the lotto as well.
So you go look at the lotto.
And the local dog races, because then the locals would think you're a legend. And then I'd write a book about how to pick a winner.
What? Go time travel?
I'll just say, when you're picking the right dog.
All right, now give us a few verses of this book. Look in the camera.
Success can come to anyone. You just got to, work hard and apply yourself, really.
That's what's going to be in your book.
Yeah, apply yourself, work hard, and pick the right dog.
You realise that, firstly, working hard and all that jazz has nothing to do with picking the right dog, and you yourself didn't work hard and apply yourself.
Well, they don't know that. You know what I mean? And I'd say not just
buy
dogs.
my book.
I'd say
like when you publish your book, and it fails miserably, would you go back in time to take that back?
I'd probably
You're like, I lost tens of thousands of dollars publishing this book.
If the book didn't work, I would I'd probably go and try a different book.
Yep.
How I won how to pick a winner in horses instead of dogs.
Or how to beat Usain Bolt in a 100 meter sprint.
Yeah. I think that's why going back in time's the best, because it's the simplest way to win the money.
But how many times would you do it?
Well, you make sure you time it for the big win. You got to time it. If you're going to lose a year, you want to be, you want the, you want the good coin.
Yep.
So you want one. What's the biggest lotto?
I'm not a big lotto fan. Well, unless they're sponsoring us. Shout out to Lotto. But I don't know how it works. But, sometimes you hear the word Powerball.
100 million.
Yeah, Powerballs or something like that. Well, come full circle has this podcast talking about balls again. But yeah, go get the Powerball numbers and
or TikTok. Not TikTok, crypto. Remember when we were talking about crypto and it was $1,000?
You're like, that's crap.
And we were
going to be worth anything.
There was a Netflix show and it said, you should buy crypto. And I remember we talked about it and we said, look, maybe we should. And then we were like, nah,
waste of money.
And then it went up to 100,000.
No, it went to 20,000, from 1,000 to 20 or something.
Yeah, and then it went up again to 60 and then 80, and it's just dropped back down. Anyway, point is, if we could go back in time to there and buy crypto.
No, that's how long ago was that?
It's a few years.
So that would be 50. If you went back a year of time.
Yeah.
That's 50 years of your life gone.
Well, I think crypto just dropped from 60,000 to 20,000. So you just do that as well. Win the lotto, put it all on crypto before it crashes, or I don't know, whenever it's good.
Yeah. So how many?
Win the lotto, double the lotto win. So you get 60 million, turn it into 120 million. You've won.
Okay.
And then then you've got the 20 million. You can challenge Usain Bolt to a race, and you can say, "Here it is," and then he races you, and you just pause him,
punch him a few times on the way past, and then.
Yeah, well, even if you didn't want to show that you teleported, you could just at the beginning of the race pause time, and then just kick him in the nuts at the beginning of the race, really hard, and then both sprint, and he'll fall down. And then
imagine if he did that and he got back up and still beat you. Like, damn it, go back. Again, goes a year of my life.
Yeah, he might have to do what it takes. It'd have to be a pretty good shot. You'd want a couple of real good shots on his nuts. I mean, you don't want to mutilate him.
Just gonna get the speedball going, speed bags.
Shout out to Usain Bolt.
Maybe you'll come on our podcast and.
Hey, Usain, you want to come on our podcast?
It'd be great. We promise not to pause time and kick you in the nuts. But so in the end, you get all this money, right? You've lost, 10 years of your life? 5? What do you
but you know what they say, money brings happiness.
Yeah, that's actually true.
And so it's worth it. I mean, really, it's all about happiness, isn't it?
You used it a handful of times? Half a dozen? You got 6 off the top. Let's give you got 6 years gone. Right, but you got millions of dollars.
You got 100 million.
100 million. And the genie comes back and goes, ha, I'm one of those tricky genies. The evil ones. I'll take your money, I'll take away your powers, and he pauses time and kicks you in the nuts. And that's it.
Well, that isn't... He sounds like a bit of a... it's not very nice at all, really. He sounds like a bit of a knob.
That's what happens. That's the hypothetical. What do you do now? With all that experience, 6 years off the back of your life, what do you do?
Suppose I just get a job, sales.
Write a book about how you met a genie.
Yeah, I could start a cult.
Yeah.
Maybe be a police officer.
Why a police officer?
Well, it's pretty steady.
Maybe you could start your career in professional, athletics, and be a runner or something.
Yeah, I could be a runner. I used to be fast.
Are you fast now? Don't you hate it, when you being old now, we're quite old, and we look back and, when you picture yourself running, you picture yourself being fast like you were when you're 20, but then when you actually try and run, you got the speed of a 80-year-old tortoise.
Yeah, it just feels heavy.
Yes.
And it's more the fear of injury. you start running and your confidence is very low. I think the last time I tried to sprint my fastest, I pulled my calf muscle. I haven't run my fastest since then.
Who do you reckon's fast out of the people we know? You think Paul Mamone's fast?
No. I don't think he's that fast. It doesn't look fast to me. Maybe he is. I don't know.
He might be really fast.
I mean, maybe he is.
Who else could be like potentially fast?
I reckon I would bet Daniel Holt would probably be quite fast. Something about him. Looks like he's got...
What genetics he's got? He's half Indian, isn't he?
Half Indian, I think he said. And
half English.
But he used to be a boxer.
Oh,
so
dude.
I think he's got a bit of athleticism.
You should challenge him to a race.
20 million, Daniel.
20 mil. Show us your money later. Well, that was the podcast of Two Guys and a Fake Flyer.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank our good sponsors at Monster Energy Drink.
Thanks, Monster.
That's some other, but oh well. And that's another episode of... you have anything else to say? Before I inevitably get up and have to turn it off?
No, I think that's it.
Alright, well let me just... Oh.